Today we're discussing a really wonderful topic. It's around karma. Karma is at the center of so much of the way we work in this world and what we do and how we act. Is the aim actually to be without karma?
I would even challenge this thought about karma. Does every action actually have a reaction to it?
If your dharma is to be a fighter, then inaction is not the solution. Then that's going to create karma.
Our own inner demons or inner traumas as being karmic. How do we accept them?
It's not enough to pull people out of the river. We also have to go upstream to see why they're falling in the first place.
A kid's born in a war zone. Oh, that's just a kid's karma. That's like extremely detached, emotionally detached, and not very compassionate.
You need purification of the heart, which is done by actions.
Karma runs deep. Karma is our physical states, but also our mental states as well. There's 3 types of karma, which often don't get understood properly. We have...
Before we jump into this episode, I'd love to invite you to join this candid spiritual community to hear more conversations that will help you become happier, healthier, and more healed. All I want you to do is click on that subscribe button because I love your support. I love seeing all the comments pouring through, all the love pouring through, and we're just getting started. I can't wait to go on this journey with you, whether you're a spiritual seeker or you're just curious about the topic. And we really hope that our conversations will provide you food for thought and inspiration for your own spiritual journey. So join us for honest, candid discussions about spirituality for soul's sake.
Hello and welcome to another episode of For Soul's Sake, a podcast which is centered around Bhakti, yoga, devotion, and spirituality that hopefully will transform your life for the better. Again, we're joined with our incredible co-hosts, Nāma and Stine. Thank you so much for being here.
It's good to be here.
That's a nice
Always.
shirt. Where'd you get your shirt from?
It's a nice shirt.
Got it from a thrift store in Brick Lane.
Tommy.
Tommy Hilfiger. Not bad.
That's a nice shirt, Stine. Where'd you get it from?
I don't actually remember. I've had it for like 20 years, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
20 years.
Something
That's
like that.
incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to be better at washing my clothes. Everything I own just shrinks. Maybe I'm washing it too hot.
You sure it's the
Yeah.
clothes that are shrinking?
Yes. Today we're
That's a
just...
nice way to look at life, though.
Yeah.
Clothes are just shrinking.
Clothes are shrinking, you know? See the glass half full. Anyway, today we're discussing a really wonderful topic, one that we, behind the scenes, have been trying to formulate a way in which we can really disseminate and construct a good conversation around. It's around karma. And it's one which is often chewed upon among Eastern spiritualists, people who appreciate the Vedic side of spirituality, Hindu mythology as well, Buddhist theology. Karma is at the center of so much of the way we work in this world and what we do and how we act. And so we wanted to really start off with what is karma, but we've centered around a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, which Stine is going to read for us.
Mm-hmm. So we are in chapter 3, and it's text number 4. Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection.
This is a really interesting part of the Gita and the conversation, because those of you who've read it, Arjun, Krishna's friend, is going through a crisis at the moment, and he's basically wanting to escape the battlefield that he's on, because he's like, I don't want to fight because I'm going to get a lot of reactions for this.
Yeah.
And so let me just escape. And this
I'm going to get a lot of karma for this.
A lot of karma, we say that. I'm going to get karma for this. I'm going to get some reactions for this. And Krishna's basically telling him, well, you can't escape your reactions to your actions anyway. So you can run all you like. You're going to have to serve the reactions. And karma is an interesting thing, right? Like we that word's so popular.
It's a buzzword when it comes to like I was saying with Hinduism or Buddhism or Eastern spirituality. It's everyone says it's like...
It's a common buzzword, yeah.
Yeah, karma.
What does it mean?
Well, Justin Timberlake says it's what goes around comes around.
What goes around comes around.
Yeah.
An eye for an eye. Like Mahatma Gandhi said that.
Yeah, for every action there is an equal and proportionate reaction.
Yeah, Newton's
Yeah.
formula.
But I also think in this verse, what's interesting to me is this idea that it's not enough to just abstain. It's not enough to, because, and I suppose in that is you need purification of the heart, which is done by actions.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because otherwise we could all just sit still in meditation for the rest of our lives and then just don't do anything.
Do no action.
But can we do that? There are spiritual paths which basically show this as, this is the conclusion, is that your job is to be inactive.
Yeah. Withdraw the senses.
Withdraw the senses, withdraw the mind.
Yeah.
And it's just like, do nothing, escape karma that way. Actually, in some, there's some particular spiritual paths where they walk around and they always wear masks. And like how we wore in COVID, but this is, a long time ago. And the reason they do that is because their whole practice is around reducing to the minute thing, reducing the amount of killing or violence that they give out there. And to the extent where even the breath kills the insect. And so they try to limit it by wearing a mask.
My mind went to, if you like, when you swallow an insect accidentally.
Probably that as well. Yeah, probably that as well. I thought it just keeps stinky breath away from someone else. But
So even if you're vegetarian, there's still karma involved. Because you're still having to kill a plant, or I was going to say an animal, that's not vegetarian. You have to kill a plant, or they have to uproot a potato. There's always karma involved.
there is, yeah.
So how can you live akarmically?
I don't think the point is to. Like, how can you function in this world? I mean, I would even challenge this thought about karma, like, does every action actually have a reaction to it?
Yes.
But how? Because
Tell me an action that doesn't have a reaction.
I'm sure there's things we've done that we've not had the reaction yet.
Yeah, but there's a reaction coming.
When?
I don't know, mate. I'm not the rule maker.
It's a bit, like, think about it, right? It's a bit, a kid's born in a war zone and they die at the age of 8.
Mm-hmm.
And our spiritual texts actually saying, oh, that's just a kid's karma. That's like extremely, detached, emotionally detached, and not very compassionate onto that child's life. But did they choose to be there?
But it's the only logical way that in my mind I can quantify why good things happen to bad people, is that I know through the law of karma, or even theoretically I know that through the law of karma, if someone does a bad action, let's go extreme, commits murder, etc., they're going to get their reaction eventually. And it may not be in this lifetime, but now we're getting into reincarnation, but it could be in a future expansion. So it's the only way I can understand why bad things happen to good people is through the law of karma.
I'm just going to play a bit of devil's advocate because
I'm all for it.
Is saying, is the whole concept of karma, is it just a way to justify to our own minds because we can't comprehend the gruesome nature of this world? Is it a way to just justify to ourselves that this is why this happens here? Like, there's so many examples of situations where people have gotten away with murders or gotten away with gruesome things. I'm choosing really extreme examples, right?
But what does it mean to get away with? Because you don't know whether there's suffering.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, here we go.
I was also thinking about, like, doesn't dharma also play a vital role here? Because, for example, it may well be your dharma to sit and meditate as a monk in a face mask your whole life. Whereas for Arjun, in what we were talking about, he's a warrior. So that's what he's meant to do. That's his dharma. And so this interplay as well.
Dharma and karma.
Yeah, because if your dharma is to be a fighter, then inaction is not the solution.
Yeah.
Then that's going to create karma.
Yeah.
Whereas if your dharma is to be a monk who's meditating for peace, then meditating for peace is not going to create karma.
So really we're talking about here, is the aim actually to be without karma? Because
Karmaless.
we couldn't, okay, look, even if we look at this as a logical math problem, we can never equate any action with what reaction we're going to get. Like any reaction, like if I get a cut on my arm, theoretically I know it's karmic, but how I got it, I don't know. why I got it, even I don't know, maybe. But I think the point from a bhakti perspective is not the how and the why, but the way in which we, the what we do with it. So it's like, it's not why is this happening to me, how is this happening to me, but what is this trying to teach me?
How can I use the situation to propel me forward?
And it goes even further than just from my own personal life, but then also in the lives of others. Like if I see suffering going on, rather than going, ha ha, that's your karma, actually acting with compassion is going to do more internal purification of my heart, and also simultaneously help that person rather than further hurt them. I think that's a healthier approach. What do you think?
It's something I really struggle a lot with in my own life, is this, where's this balance for me between helping other people and then also not messing with their karma. And Desmond Tutu, I've given you this quote before, but he said, it's not enough to pull people out of the river. We also have to go upstream to see why they're falling in the first place. And I think we can probably all agree that the reason people are falling into the river is the disconnect from source. It's the state of consciousness that is not purified.
Beautiful.
It's all of these things. But then what do we do with all the people who are, one, already in the river, but also all the people who keep falling into the river? And also, should we be teaching them how to swim? Because if you just pull people out of the river, they're just going to fall back in. Yeah, so, but just that in my own life, I sometimes struggle with this sort of, this balance between doing my spiritual practices and, you know, doing my japa in the mornings and doing devotional service, and then at the same time also opening my heart to the suffering of others for all the horrendous things that are going on in the world, but not being so consumed by that actually leads to inaction or to overwhelm. Or to, so it's like, where do you place yourself, I suppose, on that river? Like,
this is really, you raise a really good point, Stine, because like if you look at the life of like major spiritual leaders, let's take Prabhupada for example, leading Bhakti. He flew around the world so many times, but if you look at his life, what he essentially taught people, the principles of Bhakti Yoga, taught people to chant these mantras, teach them kirtan, teach them to philosophy, and lead a simple life, but with high thought. But if you look at the time he in 10 years, he basically expanded a huge movement, right? But he didn't spend loads of time doing loads of philanthropic endeavors, going to a war zone. You don't see that. So I think a lot of modern people challenge spiritual leaders and say, well, you took all that time teaching someone meditation where you could have just gone into a war zone where people are really suffering and helped them directly. Why did you not do that? And I think part of the answer, and I think you touched on it, Stine, is because they are upstream and they are seeing what people really need, and they are serving for that cause, that core element that's stopping people from swimming, stopping people from getting out that river. They're meeting them where that's at and dealing with their karma.
But
right?
presumably also because he had a knowledge that was his dharma.
For sure.
That's where his action is required.
Right.
And I think that's also what I struggle with is I don't really know how to even know where I position myself.
Right.
Should I be out sailing on the flotilla at the moment, or what, like, or should I just continue doing what I'm, and I say just, or should I continue doing what I'm doing?
It's a completely valid point. And it takes a certain level of like introspection and taking the time to really sit with it. And I think often we could even get like immature spiritualists that are just like have just maybe heard it once and gone, no, you just got to realize you're not the body, you're the soul. And that's all well and good. But then you lose that compassion element as well. And it's interesting because Bhakti sits on three major principles: Nāma ruchi, taste in the holy name; Vaishnav Seva, serving devotees of God. But then the third one that Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about is Jiva Doya, which is compassion for living entities. And so, you can be doing lots of Nam Seva and you can be doing lots of Vaishnav Seva, but if Jiva Doya is missing, if you're not compassionate towards those who are suffering, then it also it's a big pillar. It's like you're missing a big part here. Like, okay, let's even get even more esoteric. If you want to get the mercy of Krishna, you have to get the mercy of Srimati Radharani. And if you want to get the mercy of Srimati Radharani, you need to get the mercy of Nitai, who is the eternal teacher, the expansion of Balaram. Now, this is now for those who are really on the Bhakti wavelength. Now, if you really want to get the mercy of Nitai and Nityananda Ram, you have to get the mercy of Chaitanya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These two incredible brothers of devotion. You can see them standing right here in the center. If you want to get Krishna's mercy, you have to boil it down to getting Sri Chaitanya's mercy. And how do you get Sri Chaitanya's mercy? It's by serving those who are suffering in this world and even causing suffering in this world. So like the esoteric point of compassion can come from either angle. Either you see it as I need to serve the people and try and help them, or you see the bigger, from me, what I see as the bigger picture, which is Krishna is the source of everything. All things, you know, good, bad, quote unquote, past, present, future, eternal, all things unlimitedly are by the grace of God. And so if I want to access the grace of God, I have to serve people to go upstream. And if I'm feeling that I'm too attached to the people in the stream, then it might even help you to see, okay, what is the bigger picture here? So I think there's both angles of it, and I don't think you're wrong if you choose one angle or the other, like whether you're so compassionately driven to serve people. I think that's still beautiful, and I think we shouldn't discount people who are really absorbed in spirituality. I think that's still a valid path. It's not an exclusive, is what I mean to say. It's not mutually exclusive. I think both need to happen simultaneously, because that through that self-awareness, through that God awareness, you can help people, and at the same time, you need to help the people.
Yeah, we can't neglect the opportunity to soften our own hearts, right? One Swami said something really interesting to me. He said, when you see a homeless person walking through London, do you give them anything? And I say, no. I if I have some food, then maybe. But other than that, I don't really give them money because I don't know where they're going to spend it. And he actually said to me something interesting. He goes, no, but even if you have a little bit of money, still give something. And I said, why? Because it stops your heart from getting too hard.
Beautiful.
Stops your heart from getting too hard. Just give them something. Don't worry about, that's not your problem. You don't know them. You don't know what's going on. Statistically, you might come up with it, but is it stopping your heart from being soft? Don't let your heart be so hard.
You can even give a moment of prayer.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. And actually, one of my teachers during my yoga teacher training in India, because the discussion in the group fell on all the homeless people in India and how it's impossible to help everybody. And then she said, just recognize their humanity. That's what you can give them.
This is it. So we've gone through what is karma. We've gone to the point of accepting, okay, when someone has karmic reactions, how we treat them. How do we deal with our own karma? That's a question I have. Like, how do we deal with our own, how do we recognize our own inner demons or inner traumas as being karmic? How do we accept them? Recognize them and accept them.
Accepting your own karma, yeah. I think everything is our karma. So like people think karma is just like a thing that happens to you.
Once in a while.
Yeah. It's happening all the time.
Right.
Karma doesn't stop. It's the way this world functions. Karma literally means to act, right? So from the teachings of Bhakti, it's karma is the place that we're born in. Karma is the family that we're a part of. Karma is the friends that we accrue. Karma is the financial amount we have in our banks. It's the career that we have. It's the success that we're, the beauty, so-called beauty of ourselves. That's our karma. When we talk about karma, we talk about negative things. I didn't deserve this. I gave a talk once. I was teaching about the concept of karma, and I said to everyone, write down when you received something that you didn't deserve. So they all wrote something down. So what did you write? Oh yeah, my boyfriend left me. This person, oh yeah, I failed in that exam. I didn't deserve that. Oh, that person spoke to me rudely. I didn't deserve that. I'll go, great, very interesting. It's interesting how nobody said anything good that happened to them that they didn't deserve.
Compartmentalize it.
Everyone chose something negative.
Right.
Yeah.
But karma is also the quote-unquote good things.
Yeah.
But do we question, did I deserve that?
Yeah.
Am I ready to... Oh, I'm definitely ready to accept the good things that happened to me, but why do we not feel about the negative things that happened to me, right?
Yeah.
When we know we've done something bad and we get the reaction for it, like we're like, oh, why did I have to go through that? No, because of this. So it's we're also warped, right, to see karma as negative, but karma is also good. Karma is also the good things that happen to us. And
but also, I think concept here is also this, like, we think that the bad things are bad for us, but actually, personally, in my own life, the worst quote unquote things that have ever happened to me are actually the best things that have ever happened to me, because one, they have made me grow in ways that I probably never would have done had I stayed in my comfort zone, and also two, I think it's made me more compassionate.
definitely.
And so I think often we should sit down and go, thank you so much for sending this suffering my way. It has enabled me to grow in this way and in that way. And so instead of being victims, like, my boyfriend left me, or all these, like you're saying, if we could learn to be grateful for everything that comes our way and the opportunities that lie in it, obviously not in the moment. And of course we need time to heal and process, and
At the right time.
but at the right time,
For sure. And it's in just following on from that. So this whole concept of, the Buddhists also recognize it as well, the cycle of samsara. It's this birth and rebirth. And it said that the whole point of spiritual life is to escape the cycle of samsara. And we think, yes, what's keeping us in this world is these clutches of karma, actions and reactions. And if you haven't received all the reactions in this life, then rebirth is there for you to receive those reactions. But those reactions are also, quote unquote, good actions. So good actions also have good reactions. And if you have good reactions, you're still destined to receive those. So they still keep you. So people think just by doing pious or good things, and this is a tough statement to make here, but this is where Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is really challenging this thought, is, are good actions and good actions alone, quote unquote good actions, good enough? Right? And the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita is like, no, that's also still griping you to this world.
Still a chain.
Right?
So then the final, sorry, go on.
No, there's just this story of a yogi who's doing all the meditation, and then eventually he sort of gives up because nothing happens and he's not getting to self-realization. And so he goes back into the world, and then he gets like all the sports cars and he gets all the things, and then goes, but then has the realization, actually, none of this is going to get me there. And then completely lets go, goes back and sits and meditates, and then he dies. And then it's said that at that point, because that was the detachment from the good and the bad,
Right.
that at that point, it then,
That's
the body
interesting.
then,
You came to that realization in the end.
and that the body then, like all of it burns, all the karma, all
of it went.
Yeah, it's not attachment to the bad karma. It's not attachment to the good karma. It's attachment to the person who created it in the first place, because it was there for us to be taught, is for us to learn. So attachment to God.
It's a law,
It's attachment to the lawmaker, because then we see the bigger picture. We see, okay, cool. You landed me in this itch. I'm grateful. God, you've given me everything. I'm so grateful. Thank you. You've given me a life that's really wonderful and beautiful. But I think it's, even though we may see that, and look, the chances are you're watching this because you've got internet, you've got a phone, or you've got a laptop that you're watching this on. You've got first world problems, most likely. You've got time on your hands, so you've got time to watch a podcast that's on spirituality. And so our role, my opinion, is that we use our time, our energy, to not create good and bad karma or get attached to it, but use the time that God's gifted us to swim further upstream, get to the source, and help others. It's true, like, if you've got to this point in this episode, you've got a pretty good life. Let's be honest. You've got the time. So therefore, if you have been gifted karmically this opportunity to serve and help people with compassion and love, then that's a worthwhile cause.
Yeah, definitely.
So use this day as that opportunity. You've got good karma. You're here.
I like that. Swim upstream and then teach other people how to swim on your way up.
Yeah. All the while.
That's why there's 3 definitions of karma, right? There's 3 types of karma, which often don't get understood properly. We have karma, which is action and reaction. We have vikarma, which is negative action and negative reaction. And then we have something called akarma, which is actions which produce no material reaction, or not binding reactions, should we say. Actions which provide no binding reactions, and those are spiritual actions. Kirtan, chanting, reading, sharing, being spiritually compassionate to others. And so what's interesting is in the Gita, when Krishna is explaining this to Arjun, he's promoting him to do akarmic actions. Center your life around akarmic actions which burn up those two other bank accounts which we've accrued in our life, and through that way we can escape that cycle, right? Escape those clutches, both in the body and also in the mind, because karma runs deep. Karma is a physical states, but also our mental states as well. And
how does that tie in then to, like, I think,
living in the world?
yeah, and sort of the lessons that we need to learn and the way we need to grow. And Elizabeth Gilbert, the author, I heard her say once that she thinks of the rebirth as a boardroom, and in the boardroom is all the characters who are going to be in your life. The good, the bad, the mothers, the sisters, the brothers, everybody's there. And then there's a board behind you, and it goes, okay, so in this life, Stine, she's going to have to learn this lesson, this lesson, this lesson, this lesson, and this is her path to self-realization, and these are the things, the growth she needs for this. And then somebody in the room will go, all right, I'll play the narcissistic boyfriend. And somebody else would be like, okay, I'll be the mother who never cared for her. Or, you know, it's like, so that, and actually for me, if I think about it like this, I take it all a little bit less seriously when things happen to me. And then
Everyone's got a role.
Yeah, and that even the bad people in my life actually have been a gift sent from above, because it has enabled me to become the person I am.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, not to get attached to all of that.
it's just one big Leela playing out, you know.
Shall I tell you a story that I heard recently?
Yeah.
There's a fella, his name's Gopal Patel. Right? Now, Gopal was a very sincere young child, would offer every day something to Krishna. And Narada Muni, the celestial spaceman, is watching Gopal, and he's with Krishna. And so he goes to Krishna and says, look at this boy, Gopal Patel. Ah, such bhakti, such devotion. But Krishna, why'd you make it so hard for him? You know, like, why don't you just accept him now? And Krishna says, I don't make it hard for him. Just, okay, look, I'll tell you what, Narada Muni, go down and tell him it's time to go home. So Narada Muni goes down, he's like really excited, he sees Gopal, he's like, Gopal, Narada Muni! Yeah, look, listen, get over the awe and reverence. Krishna's calling you home. Let's go. It's time, Krishna's calling you home. And Gopal says to him, yeah, Narada Muni, I'm still young, you know, I want to go to school and my friends, and you know, I need to do, I really want to live that. And so can we do one thing? Can you come back in 20 years time? Narada Muni looks at him like, are you sure? Like, it's time to, Krishna's calling, let's go. 20 years. You sure? 20 years. I promise I'll be ready. 20 years to the day, Gopal receives Narada Muni once again. This time, Gopal is a lot more handsome. He's got a great beard line. He just got married to a very beautiful wife. And as soon as Narada Muni appears, he, oh, Narada Muni, Gopal, so good to see you, looking so good. Yeah, you know, I just got a new job. Got a Porsche 911 Boxster sitting in the driveway. And, you know, like, my wife is great. She's expecting twins. Wow, Gopal's so good. But look, it's been 20 years and Krishna's calling. Time to go. Gopal looks at him and his face drops. And he says, you know, I kind of really want to, you know, work a little bit and like establish my, you know, make sure my kids are going to be okay and my wife's going to be looked after and everything. So I tell you what, come back in 30 years and I'll be ready for you, Narada Muni. 30 years, all I want. Just 30 years. That's all I need. Are you sure Krishna's calling? Says Narada Muni. Yeah, just, 30 years. What's 30 years, Narada Muni? Just come back. I'll be ready. 30 years pass, and to the day, Narada Muni comes back. And now Gopal Patel has got a big pot belly. His hair only remains here. This is gone. His kids are older. They've gone and left the nest. And as soon as Narada Muni comes knocking, again, he's very happy. Narada Muni, so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Come, let me take you inside. Let's have a cup of tea together. Narada Muni said, look, I don't have time for this. It's been now 50 years, 60, well, it's been many, many years since you promised you'd come. Krishna's calling, time to go. And he says, Narada Muni, my kids just left the home. And I kind of want to get into gardening now. I really want to learn how to make stone-baked pizza, and I've just retired, and it's really I need 5 years. Just give me 5 years. Are you sure? Krishna's calling. 5 years, Narada Muni. What's in 5 years? Come back in 5. I'll be ready. So again, Narada Muni comes back to the day. 5 years later, he's back and he knocks on the door. Gopal, time to come home. Krishna's calling. Gopal, where are you? The door slowly creaks open, and the widow pops the head out, and she looks at Narada Muni, and gaunt in the face, tears running down. She's wearing white dress, which indicates that she's been widowed. She said Gopal left a year ago. She closes the door, and off she goes to cry. Narada Muni's distraught, like, what's going on? Like, where did he go? Gopal, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Then out of nowhere comes a dog into the scene. Woof, 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 woof. Hey, Narada Muni, it's me, Gopal. Gopal, so good to see you. Where have you been? I thought I lost you, mate. Come on, time to go. Krishna's calling. Now it's definitely time. Narada Muni, if I go now, who's going to guard the house? I got to stay and look after all these things. And so the moral of the story is that God's always knocking on the door. Constantly. And our karma is there to show us constantly that God's knocking, and to a little bit surrender our attachment to like the good karma and the bad karma and all the things of this world, and see the bigger picture. And once you see it, swim upstream, yes, and help others to swim upstream too. Those of you that heard the full story and didn't pass through, you also feel this tugma. You feel God pulling you on this side, and then the attachment pulling on this side. And see, the trick is to slowly let go of this hand. You don't have to let go in one go, because it might be a little hard, but slowly let go of the bad and good attachments and hold on a little tighter this hand that's been pulling you along all the while. And how? By reestablishing through chanting Hare Krishna, by chanting Krishna's names, by reading the Bhagavatam, the Gita. And I know I've just gone on a huge monologue, but suffice to say, I hope it fills your heart with some hope and joy that, yes, you acknowledge there are things the attachments in your karma you have to let go of, and open the heart to seeing that Krishna's been knocking. Time to come home.
I also feel that on a broader sort of level, it's really good life advice too, and how to survive this material world, because I was really feeling this story. And I think because, as you know, I used to be a corporate lawyer, and in that whole process where I was like letting go, what I was letting go was the promise of the pension payments, and the promise of the bonus, and the promise of, being the new hotshot lawyer, and working on this case and all that stuff, which is exactly this. And I think that process for me at the time, really was this actually a complete detachment, a stepping away from, but the material world almost is only really functions by always creating this sense of scarcity, where you want this little bit more, and then I want a garden, and then I want to do this.
This new attachment will make you happy. this new karmic, if you just make this karmic adjustment, good karma, then you'll be happy. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. See you on the next episode of The Soul's Sake. Haribol.
If you love this episode, you'll love my interview with Kat Meffin on how life isn't always symmetrical and beautiful. Check it out.
Nobody else owns you and your feelings. So you get to decide ultimately. And obviously, like I said, we were talking then about like how you feel, but you do get to make that decision.
Yeah.
You get to choose how, even if someone says something really horrible to you, or you read something horrible, or you see something that you compare yourself against, you do get to make that choice, however hard that is. And I think growing up, you know,